I was just on the phone with Jesse, and he was pulling into his driveway, but I didn't want to make everybody wait. So he'll be on in a second. I just sent a request. Hey, guys, what did you think? What did you think about the episode? It was so wonderful watching all of you guys interact with each other and with us. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was so, so fun. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, there, guys, I don't even know how to do this. There are all these questions. You can actually ask questions right here in the app. Who knew? This is amazing. What? Jesse Williams is unable to join. We're going to figure this out. Okay. I love you guys. I love seeing all the flags. You guys, I don't usually look like this. I had press, post episode press today, so that's why. That's why I'm all dolled up, but it's fun. It's fun to get all dressed up when we've had like a year and a half of not being able to dress up at all for any reason.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up?
I see you dressed up for the occasion.
Yeah,
appreciate this.
Very misleading invitation on your part. I thought we were supposed to go to the gym, get sweaty, and then rush home and do this. Hey, guys. Look at you. Good Lord.
Well, I had to do some press. I had to do some press today. This is not normal Sarah.
This is spin-off Sarah is what this is.
Made a segue into the most asked question on Twitter.
What do we do? What do we, how we do this? God, almost 60,000 people. Didn't we just start?
Yeah, we did. We did just start. And it's like, do you see all the flags? People are tuning in from all over the world. It's so exciting.
Okay. All right. So how should we proceed?
I do have, so I have the hashtag open on Twitter. Although, I don't.
You see who's like the captain of the ship. Sarah will steer it and she knows what we're doing and I just show up. Okay.
Pretty much how our relationship works.
On an opposite day.
Usually Jesse calls me the dramaturg of our episodes. I keep track of everything and then where he's at.
Wait, so what's happening here? We love each other. Okay, got it. Okay.
When was the last time we had a conversation? What were we fighting about? Quickly pull up that clip. Sure.
Right.
Right away, Jesse. I feel like we did that the most though on Japril the movie though. That was the one because we were like
the first one.
Yeah, the first one. You got Jesse.
Do we only refer to the first one as Japril the movie?
Yes, or are Japril the movie and then Japril the sequel, and then this was Japril the reunion.
What have we landed on here?
I don't know. A lot of people wanted Japril Endgame. And
that seems appropriate.
But we couldn't really say that before the episode aired.
Right.
So.
There's a temptation to use something with the like a trilogy, trident, triceratops, something
Trident, Trident, triceratops.
With like a Aquaman background. I'll work on the poster. I'll send you some specs.
Good. I would appreciate that. I think that'd be really good. I can't wait.
Okay.
But when we were doing Japril the movie, we had to keep track of where we were because we had like multiple different hair changes. I'd dye my hair like 4 different times. We had to find scenes that we were shooting in between scenes that we had shot like 6 years
Right.
prior.
So many
and
flashbacks and flash forwards.
Yeah, that was so fun.
That was good.
Little
did we know. Little did we know.
Little did we know it was part one of a 3-part epic journey.
Yeah. It's part one of a threesome. Is that not? That's probably not the right. We'll cut that. Well, that's, you know what I mean.
Should we circle back to that?
Yeah, let's hang up and start over. All right. Do we have
Yes, we have
what
questions.
Should we do? Questions? Okay.
I have questions on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I took screenshots. It's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but whatever. But I do want to start with questions about literally. I mean, I answered questions in the press day today about spinoff. A lot of people are feeling like this episode would lead to a spinoff, and lots of questions about, would you guys do a spinoff? What would it look like? Do you want it? Are they setting us up for it? Might be a fun thing to talk about.
Did they mention money at all?
I know. I was like, could you call business affairs?
Yeah.
Have business affairs reach out, and then we'll have a conversation.
Cut a check. Which used to be Sarah's old email address, was cut a check at Hotmail.
At Hotmail? No, it was at AOL. Don't you remember?
Right, with the disc. 20 hours of free service. Okay, so is that a question?
Yeah, the question is like, what do you see? Where do you see this story going? Like, if we could continue to tell this story, what would it look like? What do you think?
I think it really lends itself. I mean, clearly it lends itself to, I mean, I get spinoff or getting glimpses of it, because what they're going, they're the best and they're interesting. Right, they're not just, they're the best because you remember them and you have nostalgia for them. But one of the, I guess part of my answer is a reflection on why it works, and both of us letting you guys kind of understand, it's as nuanced and interesting and hard to pin down for us as it is for you sometimes. Like when Sarah and I came back, we hadn't worked together in years, hadn't been in the same space in years, and to be able to fall into a groove so easily because of a knowing and a trust and all those wonderful things that we share, it's when things just feel right and it makes sense. And it's really also nice where we get to have full conversations. Our show has a lot of people on it, a lot of stories to serve, a lot of characters to serve. So a lot of times it's, it's quick and dirty. We move the story forward and we go, and then you watch other people. But for us to sit and really explore for these 8-page, 9-page, 7-page scenes, a real knowing and a patience and understanding for each other, you guys respond to that, we respond to that. And so, you would think there's plenty more for us to do. So you love her. You guys are okay with me. We can watch the kid grow up. Going to Boston is like, we're not just going to a place. We're not just, let's go to the beach. We're not just, I shouldn't say beach. Let's go.
No, we're not going
to the headline for this thing is like, Japril goes to the beach.
And they're at the beach.
Is that, I think, is that like, we're going to do something really fucking interesting. What Jackson's journey is really interesting. What April's already been doing that we haven't really gotten to see, but we got a taste. And I feel like the fans really want to know more about what you've been doing. All that's really rich, and there'd be a lot to do. And Boston would be an interesting place to do it. So I get it. I want to watch that too.
I want to watch it too. I mean, one of the things I was talking about in these interviews today is just that I feel like they're both kind of fully embracing their purpose. Like they're like a calling on their life to go into the world and make a change for the good.
Yeah.
And like, she has been in that space for the last few years. Like when she left the hospital 3 years ago, she had this big, massive moment of discovery. This is what I want to do. And she's been living it. And this is the moment when Jackson realizes, I have this incredible opportunity to make real change in the world. And like, together, coming from the places that both of their hearts are pulling towards towards serving the community and changing it for the better. And here you are with like head of the foundation with like resources to be able to actually do these things. Like how amazing. I mean, to really kind of dive into medical justice.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, we haven't seen that yet.
No, and it's a really real thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll set up a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You guys just send us some money and we'll do it. We'll act it out ourselves.
We'll go shoot it. We'll go make a little mini movie and then you guys can see what you think.
I'm eating now.
I really appreciate how serious you are about being professional in this moment. Thank you. As always, par for the course. Okay, I have a question from Kay, who says, "What's your favorite Japril scene?"
You go.
Okay, I have so many. So many. I think probably one of my favorites was that like 15-page scene we had in Japril the movie. Took all day to shoot it. Ended with throwing fortune cookies at one another.
Yeah.
You got really sick off of Chinese food because you decided to eat 95 dumplings on the first take.
Yeah, this is called the Justin Chambers lesson.
Yes.
Which is to like when shooting a scene, don't invest too early in committing to eating, as I'm doing now, eating things, because then you have to match it every single time. And when you are really hungry, don't come to set hungry.
You both show up hungry, always. And you're like, oh, dumplings, that was good.
That impression does represent the intellect at play in those moments.
I want that in my belly. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, but I love that scene. I loved that scene because you never get epic scenes like that on television. You don't get a scene that lasts for an entire act of a show where you get to have a very real, big, long conversation that takes many twists and turns. I remember you took a picture of all the marks on the floor.
Oh, yeah, right.
We got to just play, and it was so fun finding our way through the Japril kitchen living area, moving through all of the different emotions. And I also remember shooting that scene like towards the end of the day after we shoot, because we only shot that scene all day. Towards the end, we were in my coverage for a big heated fight moment, and I lost the gas. I just was like, and I remember asking you, I'm like, why am I mad? Why am I right about this? Why am I convinced that my argument is the right one? And you put your hands on my shoulder. You're like, this is what it is. It's because of this, and this, and I've been a fucking asshole, and that's what you just.
Oh wow!
It was great. It was just one of those moments. We would do that for each other all the time, though. What is this about? Can you help me? And then, but the fact that you were literally playing an argument with me where you had to be convinced of your point of view in order
but could understand yours.
Yes. But then helped me figure out mine so that I could do my
it's so like almost meta for real life in a real life situation. Argument we've all been in relationships, and you're in arguments, and you're in the living room, and you're pacing around, and you're doing some business, and
you lose the thread.
And you lose the thread.
Yeah.
I remember being in an argument with a girlfriend, and we laughed about this that night and ever since. But being in a real argument, but I had just gotten a new chair at the house, and so I'm arguing we're bickering about something, and I think the chair swivels to rise and fall. It's a little lower than I expected when I bought it online or whatever at the store. So I think that I'll spin it to raise it up so I can sit in it while we're talking. So I figure I'm just going to go spin, and sit. But I'm spinning it. It's not going. It doesn't raise. I'm grossly misinformed. So I'm trying to have a very serious argument with somebody, but I'm just spinning and going nowhere. And at a certain point, she's like, what are you doing? And I thought it would raise. Forget it.
I'm raising the chair. Damn it.
Right. So to be able to step out, step in, appreciate a moment of humor, but still let's finish this.
Yes.
Wait, why am I even? I love you. Why am I even upset? Yeah.
Well, because there were also moments in that, like, we did not want our characters to get divorced. We were so sad about it.
Oh, right. Yes.
We were so sad. Remember that divorce scene that we had to do where we just, like, sat there in our chairs and we're like, this is such a sad day.
Having to perform things truly in a real way, but against your will, like against your wishes.
Yes.
It's a pretty wild.
I had to come up with a reason that this wasn't working. When I was like, but it can.
Looking to the writers like with pleading eyes. You want to change this? No?
Don't you want this to be a romantic comedy? Can it end that way, please?
So those are really good scenes. Let me see.
What about your favorite scene?
God. There's so many, and I feel like what keeps coming to me is like sometimes it's like the shorter moments that the characters have had in between. Like, yes, we have these big albatross scenes that are really epic and amazing, but I almost like when the characters were first finding each other and learning how to be, and it was kind of secret. There's even a scene that I think I posted when I took over IG yesterday of, I guess they had just slept together for the first time, and Kepner comes out of, and she still had some tension, I think, with Karev. Before I beat him up.
I totally forgot about that scene.
And then you come out and she's like, your mom keeps asking me why I'm tired, and you do this blush, like bashful thing, and walk away, and Meredith is giving me shit about it. Like those little, God, they look so young. They feel, there's an innocence to it, right? Before the pregnancy and the marriage and some of the adult things that we come to understand. But that in the innocent moments early on, trying to figure out and argue about whether you might be pregnant. I mean, remember that scene? I pull you into a patient room and I'm like, condoms don't break. There's like stupid young.
Yeah, I had this like, what? What are you even saying right now? You're a medical professional. Condoms don't break.
Yeah, I really like that early stuff when we didn't know, where we were confused. Mm-hmm. Both, even as actors, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't have an established foundation to return to.
Yeah,
we're just kind of figuring out how these two people from different walks of life and different belief systems are resisting the inclination to trust their gut. Mm-hmm. And like be comfortable with each other, even though, but on paper it doesn't make sense. But I'm supposed to this, and I owe this, that. I owe this to them and my mom and the church and whatever. But we're just this magnetism. Because as an actor, like it's just something you can, playing the truth of something is like just a real liberating experience.
Yeah, totally. And I also really love that, from the beginning, we had no idea that we were going to wind up together. In fact, some people have posted an interview I did during my first season on the show, first season as a series regular, where they were like, who do you want to wind up with on the show? I'm like, well, I mean, there aren't that many options. I mean, my voice is so high-pitched. I'm so young. I'm so stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm just clueless. I don't know. My hair is horrible. But anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't really know, because everybody's taken, but I mean, there's really only Jackson, but I can't imagine they're going to want to put the two newbies together. Like, that would be weird. Like, that was what I said and then I remember when the writers were trying to figure out, like, who are we going to put April with? And it was like between you and Corette, like it was going to be one, but we didn't know which one.
Well, you first were like swooning over Derek, right? Which which put you in the doghouse. Yeah. As actors, as new actors on an established show, it's like you can think about what your character would want, and you think about what the fans might react to because you want to be liked, or do you want to, have an impact? So it's a little bit tricky.
It's so tricky. Oh my gosh, those first couple seasons when everybody detested Kepner. That was fun.
Kepner was a little much for everybody.
She was a lot. She was challenging. But then she had a really profound evolution. So
she was never boring.
She She was never boring, that's for sure.
Okay, new question.
Okay, well, here's one. It's just like a statement, but I like this. Missy says, not a question, but even though my shipper self would have loved to see a spicy scene, it was really admirable how much Japril has grown into actually communicating. Look at our babies out here thriving.
That's good.
I actually really love that because I do think I had a lot of people say, "Where's the kiss?" We're so mad that there was no kiss. Like, why would you do that to us? And I just feel like they've both grown and matured so much in the past, and this episode with all the different layers that it had, it made sense that they wouldn't be impulsive in this moment. Like, you've just made this giant ask of her, right? And spoken from your heart out of a place of vulnerability and passion and all of those things. It feels like it would almost. It was too soon, I think. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well, also, so much of the beginning of their relationship was impulsive.
Yeah, exactly.
We've done the impulsive thing. We've done the just kind of leap and figure it out and clean up the mess later or don't. And it's the first time they've had that conversation. Who knows what happened? What happens on the second Friday they land in Boston and are, put the kid down.
Chinese food again, and he went and got her a bunch of.
Yeah, like more dumplings. Yeah. But yeah, it is nice to be able to have a mature, patient response and not lean to getting drunk and being impulsive and like that. We've done that. We can do that. But yeah, I think that it's funny. So people are like, when are you guys gonna kiss her? When are you gonna hook up? But you're already projecting that in your head. Let us do something else.
Yeah, exactly. I like that it leaves something for the imagination. Mm-hmm. This is a nice one. You might be nice, but you might also not be nice in the response. What did you miss the most about working together? I'm waiting for you to say something.
Well, I lost my scene interpreter who told me what's happening. So I had to hire somebody, which was awkward. But you know what? Honestly, it was shit. The truth is, it was. So it's twofold. Me, the person, and for the character that I'm portraying, both. Definitely, there was a gaping hole in being with somebody who really knows them, who doesn't. They're not going to misinterpret them, or they have a shorthand with it. Really knows them, and God, if what we all don't want in life is to be known, is to be understood, which is to say, be understood, to just be considered, to be like, for you to be able to have access to pull. I remember not even just reading it, but when you were actually saying it, when we were doing the scene, when you call him on, because I really believe that, I'm embodying this belief that I should go do this. I've got it. I'm solid. You can't knock me off of my position. And then you're like, yeah, but when have you ever cared about that? When have you ever wanted to do that? When have you literally been running from your family the whole time? It's like, all of that is true.
Right.
And not many people have such quick access to that, and not in a way that's trying to hurt me, not in a way that's using it as an insult. There's few things more.
Is I'm holding a mirror up. I'm like holding a mirror up. What?
But a real mirror. A lot of people play with that phrase. A lot of people play with that. But no, a real one that is there for understanding, not for abuse. Like not to fucking hurt the other person.
The way that a mirror reflects the glory and the things that you might not want to say. Like it like she knows him so well, right? She knows him so well, and so she can speak into. I don't know if that tracks because look at the whole history, but then she can also stand up and be like, "You are an amazing surgeon. You are changing the world. You are brilliant." Like, she's affirming him and also challenging him at the same time. Like the way that I think a really good, beautiful mirror should work.
Right.
You see the beauty, but you also challenge. You challenge and go like, "What are you doing right now? Can you take a look? Take a look at what you're doing."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's you can't buy that, can't replace that, and it takes a long time. It takes not only a long time to develop that knowing between people, but also it takes hurdles, it takes obstacles, it takes conflict, which suck in the moment, but develop an understanding. So the rest, since April left, I would dare say you look back, it's a lot of just trying to understand himself and be understood by others, and failing and trying it over here and trying this relationship, which is all an uphill battle to be understood, and that's not working, and try this. Okay, what if I don't try anything and just sleep with somebody? That's fun, it's nice, but it's not a deep like none of those things are understanding. So that's what I say I missed, and made it so much more compelling to perform and come to work every day.
Yeah. I mean, I echo all of that. I think I remember saying to you after we shot that first scene, like just looking at you and being like, oh, it's so easy. It's just so easy. Like, I missed it, I missed that exchange, that the ease with which you and I, as Jesse and Sarah, the people and the actors, are able to communicate so well and support one another. Are you falling asleep right now? Is that
no, not at all. I'm adjusting. Yeah.
There is something that gets built when you spend 9 years telling stories that have trauma in them, and real things that you have to go through, and that you guys, that we've played, and that the audience has witnessed, that we can pull from actual moments, not just backstory, but real moments that people have seen, that we have lived. It makes you don't get that. You just don't get that kind of communication and story on most shows or films. You just don't have the time to get it. So yeah. So working with you was so fun, but then also the story was so rich. So that was like delightful.
Yeah, that's great.
Were you surprised that Japril broke the internet again? There's still a trend in some countries.
I don't know. Were you? I mean, yes, I am surprised. I'm not like from 0 to 100 surprised, but we still got it, and the fans still connect to it, and that's really, it feels nice. Shit, I can admit that it feels really nice for people to. Yeah, we were talking about understanding before, to people to really respond and feel like they know these people, and their gut was right, their intuition was right. So I think there's a validation experience with the fans. Like, I fucking knew it. I knew that this was unfinished. I knew that you guys need to be in a room together. And so often for them, they're powerless, and they just have to see what we do, and they can call bullshit on things they don't feel like it's connecting, or that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't track, or that. And for them to, so it feels good for them to be happy for something that is meaningful and that I can understand, as opposed to just something that's kind of frivolous.
Yeah, I agree. I also, after we posted that first little video and the behind the scenes thing, and just we were sitting on set after we posted that, seeing the response, and we just kept looking at each other like, look at this.
Yeah.
What? It was, so we
had a weird time
travel of that before the episode aired, for sure. I didn't expect quite the earthquake of it all, but it was super fun. So many callbacks in the episode. Throw pillows, Jordan, Samuel. How did it feel to bring up so much of Japril's history?
I'm just thinking about, like, it's there. It was there no matter what. Like, the character remembers it. Saying it out loud as a refresher, I get how that helps everybody to kind of come to the same space and remember and clock all the ingredients that affect the dish. But I already know it, so it didn't. I don't know that it really impacted my experience. But I'm glad that it helped welcome more people into it.
Yeah, I was. I think it also was like a lovely gift for the fans who have tracked. I talked to one of the interviewers today, said that in preparation for this episode, she literally went through the entire series from the moment we came on and watched every Japril scene, like just to like refresh.
That'd be interesting. That's a level of research and preparation that I'm just unwilling to do. That's
because I do it for you.
Because I'll just ask you. Yeah, that's really interesting. I was actually talking to a good friend of mine today who he's never seen the show, and we watched last night and watched some of the scenes from Japril 1 or 2, and it was just interesting because he felt very much like he got a real he didn't feel left out as much. He's obviously haven't seen the show. I'm sure I'm missing things, but Jesus, the chemistry is very clear, and I get a very real understanding, not only in the lines he said, but as in the dialogue, but in the space between the lines, and just the quiet reactions. It was really, really. They were really transfixed by it, which says a lot. This is you miss 300 hours of a show, but you can drop in and just be whooshed into the depth of it.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction to a couple of girlfriends who told me that they aren't people who watch the show, but they watched it last night and they're like, it felt like its own story. I am immediately invested in these two humans because like the depth was there and the chemistry was there, like all the things that you just said. But they're like, I didn't actually need to know all of those backstory things,
So a fan is going to cut together all the Japril scenes, all the scenes that affect Japril in one way or another. So those could be scenes that are just about you, or just about Kepner, or just about Avery. Also, like we don't both have to be in all of them, and they'll edit them all together and weave them all together into an epic. I wonder how long that would be, what the runtime is.
We've given you an assignment.
So get to work. So, Peru, Argentina, Brazil, South Africa.
Please get on this immediately. Thank you. Can we all just like appreciate Jesse's brilliance in all of the stuff last night? I just.
That's not a question. I
just need to say it because there are 26,000 people watching, and just a big clap, just like a yay, like a wow. There's one specific question right here about the stuff with your dad that he that scene with you and your dad on the steps just absolutely destroyed me. It broke my heart. It was so beautiful. But this